My name's David Illsley. We're here at Down Farm Cheveley, which is near Newbury, in the middle of the farm, which is about 400 acres, and it's pretty well all grassland for cattle suckler herds. So the soil is very light. We're stood on sand here, overlying chalk, but the chalk's a little bit further down, overlooking towards another more sand. So very dry, need rain lots. Trying to get crops on a dry year is impossible. So trying to get more resilient crops that will tolerate the dry ground. On the 400 acres we have about 100 breeding suckler cows, and don't tend to use fertiliser. I run it with, I just have a young lad that helps me who's part-time at college, and they are low cost, low maintenance animals is the key. So we're stood here in I think it's a GS4 lowland grass, and the farm's in a lowland grassland option with virtually no fertiliser. This piece here has not had anything on at all, but the cattle were here in the winter, so they came out round about the middle of April, and it'll be cut middle of June. So this piece we're stood on here is it's 2 years old, second year, and the piece further over the other side is a year older that was put in the year before, and it normally stays down for about 2-3 years. And it's planted in the spring, but it's planted underneath the whole crop, which is taken for silage, and then it then takes over as the main crop for the following year. This part of the farm is rotational in that it occasionally would have perhaps a crop of spring barley or something, but mainly it is for grassland for silage and whole crop for silage, and it rotates in. There's 90 acres here and roughly 30 acres per year. So this piece we're stood in does have quite a lot of red clover in it, and the advantage about having so many mixed species is it seems to be possible to graze the clover and no problems at all, although the biggest risk is usually frost in September, which we haven't had for a few years. They will spend all winter on here. There is chicory as well. They seem to graze it as long as it's not going to get too big, but then it's cut for silage, so it's usually fairly fresh. So after this is down, it will be ploughed up in the spring for some sort of arable crop, usually without any sprays or anything. It's fairly clean when it's ploughed up, and then put back either into some sort of arable crop or occasionally just back into grass. As you can see with this crop this year, it seems as if the cocksfoot is, I wouldn't say totally dominant, but it is a fair bit here. Probably the dry, especially dry last year. But then I want something to grow. It's no good if it just dies away. So the most things I can see from here are the cocksfoot and the red clover, and then there are quite a lot of plantains and things that also seem quite resilient. The one I'm stood on is a rotational 2-year mix. This has been down 2 years. The piece behind us over towards the hill has been down 3 years. Last year the take wasn't very good in the spring because it was too dry in the summer, so they just stay down an extra year, and I'll redo the other one. So this mix came from Cotswold Seeds. They do the range of multi-species mixes. For this one's a short-term lay, but also I've had a longer-term lay, and then they have a wide variety of species available to put in these mixes, which makes them more resilient.